Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Biz Apps Buzz podcast. I'm your host, Amiee Keenan, founder of the ISV Society, working with MS Dynamics World to bring you the latest news and announcements from leading companies in the Microsoft Biz application space. We are broadcasting live, as you can see, on LinkedIn and YouTube, but don't worry, you'll find all of these episodes on the Biz Apps Buzz on demand as well. Today, we have Bob McAdam from Cavallo, ready to share some BC and GP buzzworthy information. Welcome, Bob, to the first ever Biz Apps Buzz podcast.
Well, thank you, Amiee. It's so nice to be your first guest. This is really awesome. I've not done any LinkedIn or YouTube live events before, so thank you very much. I'm excited to chat with you here as we get going.
Yeah, so let's dive into the topics we want to discuss today.
I'm
a
ready.
Lot going on we're going to be talking about. So first up, profit analytics.
Yeah.
I understand you have some beta testing going on. Could you share more information about that?
I sure can. So at Cavallo, we've been hard at work on profit analytics. This is a project that's been going on, for several months now, probably a year. Right? The combination of developers and data scientists putting their big brains together and coming up with a new application that went beta in mid-December, and we'll probably beta this for, I don't know, 3 months, maybe a little bit longer, and get ready to release it at the end of Q1 or the early part of Q2. It has really taken up a lot of time and energy internally. And now that it's getting closer to GA, it made it to beta. We've got about 30 or 40, trying to get a few more customers in the GP and BC space to beta test it for us and battle test it diligently and make sure any flaws are repaired if they find any, and B, get feedback on this product and really help us make it the best it can be. You can see I've been reading up on all my my data and training here to make sure that I am top of mind on this stuff. But profit analytics is a new concept for us. I don't think as long as Cavallo has been a company, which was 20 years in September, we've ever done anything like this. So profit analytics has arrived. It's a new BI solution that is made specifically for distributors, right? That's our expertise. And it combines artificial intelligence and machine learning with pre-structured visualizations. Okay. And what it's designed to do is drive deep into your business, sift through all the data that you have. And let's face it, some companies have been on GP, for example, for 20 or longer years. They have a lot of sales data, a lot of inventory data, a lot of customer data, and they need to learn from that data and help plug the holes in margin. Distributors often work on very thin margins, and margin leak is a problem for all distributors, right? There's no company that's fulfilling orders perfectly 100% of the time, all the time. There are problems, and when there are problems or there's a problem, with a process, then you're losing money. Our CEO, Mike B, where he likes to put this bucket on the screen when he's talking about profit analytics, and instead of holes in the bucket leaking water, this bucket has holes in it that's leaking $100 bills, right? So we're trying to plug the holes and have companies learn from their past experience and help them sift through tons and tons of data so that they can drive a higher profit margin by learning where the problems are and give them an actionable avenue by which to fix those problems. So profit analytics is a big deal, and it doesn't require any specialization and analysis skills. It doesn't require any of that, right? This isn't Power BI, which is a great tool where you connect it to a data set and you build what you want. We have taken our distribution prowess over the past 20 years and built visualizations and whatnot around sales and customers and inventory and margin. We really want distributors to focus on margin and to make sure that every line item of every order is meeting a margin threshold, right? Every company has requirements for margin, and if your distribution business is meeting those requirements, then it's going to be profitable and it's going to be able to scale. But if you're leaking margin, if you're not accounting for vendor price changes, whether you're renegotiating cost or or you're adjusting your price as a result, if stuff like that is happening, or if you have maybe a salesperson who is really good at making sales but discounting too frequently and it's cutting into your margin, you need to know these things as a distributor. So we are working hard on this. We really have worked hard on this. It's going to be out very soon. It's going to be plugged into GP and BC. We are actively looking for more GP and BC customers, whether they own our products or not, to beta test this and really help us make a big splash with this new offering. It is a big deal. We've put a lot of time and effort into this. And like I said, in the 20 years that this company has been together and running, we've never really rolled out an application like this. This is really a game changer, something very new for us, but something we know a lot about in the distribution space. It's being sold, Amiee, to distributors, right? If your business doesn't move product, isn't a distributor, it's probably not for you, and it won't be sold to customers like that. It's got to fit that ideal client profile, and then all the people we've beta tested with have been really impressed with what they've seen. They're asking good questions. They want to help us. So we feel like if it's placed in front of the proper audience, we feel like it's going to be very, very impactful for them.
Definitely sounds like it. Yeah. So distributors out there, if you're listening and you're running GP or BC, feel free to reach out to Cavallo. Maybe you could beta test that solution and learn where the gaps and holes are, which I think everybody would like to know, because obviously we all want to earn more profit.
Yeah. And what's nice about the way Profit Analytics has been built is that GP and BC will not be its only home, right? We are looking to get into other ecosystems. There are distributors who are operating in systems beyond GP and BC. So when we're ready to move on to the next great thing with Profit Analytics, once we secure the customer bases where we've done so well, then we'll be ready to do that. But for now, we'll start with GP and BC and go from there. I'm pretty excited about what's next. There's a lot of distributors out there, a variety of applications. So I'm really anxious to get this in front of them, have them see what they're missing, see what our development and data science teams have done together, and impress them. It's been very impressive thus far. Very exciting stuff, to say the least.
It is definitely buzzworthy information, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad you went first for that. That was a good one.
Okay, so speaking of profit, let's talk a little bit about Profit Scan for BC, and I hear that's making its debut as well.
Yeah. 2024 is going to be a busy year for us, right? Profit Analytics is going to come out of beta and go GA, and sometime during Q1, we're still putting the finishing touches. We're going to have a new product called Profit Scan come into the App Store for Business Central. So where Profit Analytics helps you look at your past data and determine where your processes maybe need to be improved or where you're leaking margin, Profit Scan is a proactive application. It's going to enable you to look at orders each day, each week, things that haven't gone out the door yet, and kind of audit them, for lack of a better term, to make sure that you're maximizing your profitability on each line item. So, before you fulfill that order and ship it out to the customer, Profit Scan is going to enable you to review everything that's been done thus far and make sure that when it goes out, it's maximizing profitability and it's going out correctly. So it's a nice add-on for the BC customers who are moving product, who are running distribution businesses on Business Central. And it gives distributors who, again, are operating on thin margins, the opportunity to be proactive about their orders, right? Being proactive about your orders enables you to A, make the customer happy because you didn't make any errors, and B, make sure you're meeting margin thresholds that the company has set for itself. So it's a couple of wins there for both the
Yes.
company and the customer. And that's a good way to do business because everyone likes a happy customer and everybody wants to scale their business accordingly. So we're excited about Profit Scan. It's kind of a new, smaller friend, if you will, to Profit Analytics, the bigger application that'll go through all the data. Profit Scan is going to make sure things are the way they should be before fulfillment is 100% complete. So that's exciting too.
Yeah, definitely. Continuing with BC, order management dashboard and workflows for BC. So I hear they're going to be combining soon.
Yeah, that is the plan. So in App Source today, we have about 4 or 5 products in the App Store store, with Profit Scan going to add in there very soon. But what we found with customers that are leveraging our order management dashboard and our workflow, which is something we did in GP and had great success with, kind of our secret sauce, is that these two products really should be developed into one SKU, because we're finding that the customers that are leveraging both of them are getting the most out of both of them. So, and they do work well together. So we do plan to kind of bring them together and just sell them as one SKU. So the order management dashboard enables your sales resources or customer service folks to have one command center, so they can kind of see the landscape each time they're in Business Central, know exactly where their orders are, make sure things, it's an organizational screen to make sure they have a complete command of all the things they're responsible for on a day-to-day basis. And of course, workflow, which again was our secret sauce in GP, has now been brought over to BC. And that really makes sure that your processes are in good order, right? And things are going through the system, through your warehouse, etc., the way they're supposed to, right? Orders always come in, and orders eventually get fulfilled and go out. But oftentimes it's a big black box there in the middle between the order coming in and the order being fulfilled and being shipped. And you don't want to play Plinko with your customers' orders. You want to be able to know exactly where the order is going in your process all the time, so that A, you get a happy customer because it's right, and B, you're meeting your margin thresholds on each line item. So the workflow combined for processes and efficiency, along with your order management dashboard to get a full view and always have good command about where everything is, putting them all together does make a lot of sense. So that's what we're going to do. Probably also in it's going to be a very busy Q1 at Cavallo, because we
Sounds
have
like it.
all these things planned to do for the new year. So our director of development says we're going to amp things up and get people to meet their absolute margin possibilities, right? AMP, and amp things up and make sure that the potential for your absolute margin and making sure you are getting the most out of your business is important, right? We want to make sure that orders are going through efficiently, and we want to make sure that your order throughput is being maximized. So that's how you grow a business, right? Your order line items are good, margins are correct, and because your processes are efficient, you're able to handle more orders and they're going through correctly. So you're making sure your margin potential is as high as it can be. And that's how a distributor grows their business. So that's what we're trying to do to help make sure that we amp up that margin potential and reach the heights that the business knows it can meet if it's efficient.
Well, I like that Plinko analogy. And basically, of the last 3 things that we talked about, margin was really the main topic of all of those, and how you're really helping distributors with that, and profits, obviously. So, and the gaps and the missing pieces and the holes and how you fill all that. So that's, I can see how a distributor could use all of that holistically in their business to really, like you said, grow their business, which is the number one goal.
Yeah, you're right. Gross sales is great. Everybody can measure gross sales, but there's all that stuff that happens in the middle before you pay taxes. And if you can manage your margins and your cost of goods sold, it's not just the gross sales number you can focus on. You can really focus on your margin gains and making sure that you're maximizing them. And that way your company will really scale. You'll really see the efficiencies pay off, and your ability to leverage technology to compete better will be fulfilled.
All right. Can you believe we're on our last topic?
Already? Come on.
Time flies when you're on the Biz Apps Buzz. Okay. So GP, obviously, I
Yes.
love hearing all the ISVs that are still committing to GP, still
Right.
providing new features and functionality, still supporting it, because we know it's going to be around for a while still. Even though we don't know, we still know it's going to be around for a while. And there are still
Exactly right.
tremendously amount of customers using it. So I
Yep.
would love to hear your recent additions and integrations that you now are going to be offering for GP.
Okay. Well, Cavallo, like so many other third parties in the Dynamics GP space, continues to integrate, make changes, make improvements. You know, our good friend Terry Healy and Fabulous Fargo is not bringing as much new functionality as she once did to Dynamics GP for obvious reasons. But the third parties in the Dynamics GP space continue to evolve the product, evolve their offerings, and it's full steam ahead. Right. And we're no exception to that rule. We've integrated to Shopify, WooCommerce, Adobe Commerce, which is the old Magento. We have a Wensoft connector now that enables Wensoft Signature and Cavallo SalesPad to talk to each other behind the scenes. So you don't have to have people in both applications, right? Instant segregation of duties and full integration between their complex Wensoft offerings for GP and our complex distribution offerings for GP. So that's a great tool. It's a great bridge that I've advocated for here internally, because I kind of feel like Cavallo and Wensoft will probably be the ISVs with customers who exit GP last, if they ever do. They've got really complex environments, and they bought GP initially because of those offerings that were made available to them industry-wise. We're talking to other third-party ISVs. We're talking to Earth Corp that we met at Wensoft Synergy about an integration there. We're talking to E1 with about a PopDoc integration for our SalesPad desktop customers. We have a lot of balls in the air around integrations. We're talking to DocStar about an integration with their solution. So, I mean, we've had a lot of ideas pass over our desk because, as you said, a lot of GP customers are probably not going anywhere, at least right away. And thus they want to invest in their current solution so they can maximize their top line, maximize their revenue. And then one day, if they decide that moving to a cloud solution is in their best interest, they'll have scaled their business and they'll be ready to make that move because they'll have grown the business and have the capital to do so. So,
yeah, like you said, it's not broke, don't fix it. So why are they going to move if it's doing what they need it to do? And we're still supporting them, and ISVs are still being able to provide those functionalities, those missing pieces that they need. So yeah.
So we are excited about that. You know, we're spending a lot of time on good old profit analytics, right? And I'm learning as best I can. And our BC focus and development is really robust and moving quickly. But we have a product owner for the GP offerings, and that team continues to evolve our product line at Cavallo for our SalesPad offerings. So the GP customers who want to stay will not only get to stay and we will support them, but they'll have new offerings to integrate as we move forward. So GP or BC, we are here to serve our customers no matter which way they want to go. So it's a good place to be, quite honestly.
Definitely. And I feel like that's a great note to end on.
Well, hey, thank you for the invite. I so appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to an exciting 2024 going forward. I am really excited about what next year has to bring.
So am I. And thank you so much for being a guest, the first guest on Biz Apps Buzz. So I truly appreciate it.
You are quite welcome anytime. I'm flattered that you asked. So thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We truly do appreciate it. Again, the recordings will be available as well.